Well, hello, Visioneering Chapter 3. Again, I will probably say this every time, but just in case you're happening upon this and you haven't gotten this book and or you haven't seen the Visioneering Workshop, that's also on my YouTube, the Visioneering Workshop, and all the content is on my website, Otten-Sweeney.com. So that gives you the whole picture. And now we're working through the book chapter by chapter, and I'm just giving a few minute message on applying this information from my 39-year perspective in Mary Kay. I love the quote that chapter 3 started with. It was from Benjamin Zander, who's a conductor at the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra. And it says, goals can be energizing when you win, but a vision is more powerful than a goal. A vision is enlivening, it's spirit giving, it's the guiding force behind all great human endeavors. Vision is about shared energy, a sense of awe, and a sense of possibility. I love that. And, we spend a lot of time talking about goals in Mary Kay. But what I have found is that when you have a vision, you then pick out the goals that walk you through the process for the preparation to be ready when the opportunity for the vision presents itself. Preparation in our business, book, coach, sell, recruit, repeat. Book, coach, sell, recruit, repeat. When preparation is done and opportunity arises, you have success. And you can have some culmination of that, a new season towards your vision, because it is a journey. It is not a destination. But a couple things that stand out to me in the process of recognizing your vision, like I loved the Mary Kay culture from the beginning. I saw women comfortable in their own skin at that first guest night, and I heard their amazing stories from the stage at my first seminar 8 weeks later. And so I started to see like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm made for, but I couldn't really define it. I just knew that I couldn't not do it. And so at that stage, your vision is new and it's like a little baby. It's very fragile. You're fragile still. You don't have your pink Teflon. Like now, after 39 years, I have a pink Teflon, dome all around my head and heart. And there's nothing someone can tell me that makes me believe that this business doesn't work for people or these products aren't amazing, because I know both of those are true from experience. And so someone can say, well, blah, 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 it doesn't work for this person or this part of the country or this season of life. And it's not true. That is not true. My pink Teflon bubble is tough now, but that takes time. So when your vision is new, you have to be really careful who you share it with. And you guys, that is important. My family and friends was not supportive. And so that hurt my feelings, because I was supportive of what they did. I didn't want to be a teacher, but I was supportive of them. I didn't want to be an attorney, but I was supportive of them. I didn't want to be a public accountant, but I was supportive of them. But it was so weird when I decided to do this, people were like outwardly unsupportive. Like, no, I won't have a party. No, I don't want to try the product. And that hurt my feelings. And some women in Mary Kay, they live with people who are unsupportive. It could be a spouse, it could be a mom, a sister, close family members. And you guys, what I found is that they don't have to get it. Let them be your husband, let them be your sister, your mom, your friend. But when people aren't supportive, you don't need to share with them your vision at all, because they can't cheer you on. They can't encourage you. They don't get what you're doing, or it may make them feel insecure. Who knows what the deal is? It's not our job to figure it out. Your director, Mary Kay baked into this a support system. You have a director, you have a recruiter, you have access to national sales directors. Even when you're in Mary Kay national area, you have all the CDs from the past, the books from the past, you have all this support. Let them be your support. And then when the vision comes into reality, you're going to find that some of those people are going to say, I always knew you could do it. And or they're going to be very grateful that you did. But in the meantime, be careful who you share your vision with. The dream amount that we've been doing training on in the visioneering sharing that is fine because, and you get to decide, right? Do you want to surprise the family with the trip to Disney, or do you want the accountability that they know when they're going? And so you can't back down on your goal because you don't want to let your family down. Always wise, always wise to have a Mary Kay goal backed up by a personal goal. I always did that. That has worked well because either way, you're putting yourself in a win-win situation. But a dream amount and a vision, I mean, vision is far bigger than a dream for a vacation or a goal or to get out of debt, which is what I did. Started this for is to get out of debt. Like that's a dream amount that tells you how much you have to sell, but vision's far bigger. And it's also impossible on your own if it's a God-given vision. Nehemiah was a slave. He was a cupbearer. Like he was drinking wine, I don't know if it was every day or every meal. I have no idea, but he's drinking it because then if there's poison in it, who that king's dad had died that way, if there was poison in it, then the cupbearer dies first. And so the king doesn't drink it. So he was a slave. He wasn't thinking I was it on a stick. So who you think you are or are not, it does not matter at all. We're not talking about self-confidence here. We're looking for God confidence. And that was a game changer in Mary Kay because I grew up without self-confidence unless I knew how to do something. In and of myself, I was shy and did not have self-esteem in all arenas until I was proficient in it. And that wavers, right? So when you win, you have good self-confidence. When you're getting bad grades or, not reaching your goals in your job, then you have low self-confidence. Like that's fickle. I read a book by Donna Partow, Partow, called Walking in God Confidence. Game changer for me. From that point on, I was on a search to figure out how to have God confidence. That's what I saw in those Mary Kay women when I went to that first success meeting is God confidence. Now I have a name for it versus self-confidence, which is fickle and failing at times. So that may be something that you want to check out. I love this chapter where it talks about God's preparing, us through the journey. Jeremiah was being prepared, but while he was being prepared in the journey, he was doing his job with excellence. That's why he continued to get promoted. And I see people when it doesn't go how they want it to, they don't reach their goals, then they stop, they stall, they quit, they pad their excuses, they blame shift, they play the victim card. It's not my fault. It's time. It's my husband. It's my kids. It's a time in the calendar. It's a time in my life, et cetera, et cetera. And he didn't do that. He also wasn't double-minded. He didn't say, well, things haven't worked out before, so I have one leg on the side of it. Maybe it's not going to happen. This isn't going to work like I'd like it to happen. It's called double-mindedness. And in the word, it says when you're double-minded, that's not faith, that's sight and double-mindedness. You're like a cork on the waves, bouncing up and down, up and down. Mary Kay's great. I love it when it's going my way. When it's not going how I want it to, instead of saying quitting's not an option, what do I have to change? And reevaluating the numbers, the target market, the skills/systems, or your attitude, your character, your integrity. Integrity is your word is your bond. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. Debbie Moore taught me that people will tell you what they want you to think. Their actions tell you the truth. But God's not going to bless double-mindedness. Nehemiah was doing it excellent. So are you doing your Mary Kay business with excellence? Booking 8 parties to hold 5, not booking 1 just to get 1 from it. Are you getting the leads that you need from those? Are you getting bookings from bookings? Are you doing a table close? And this is all boot camp on my YouTube, all boot camp skills. Are you doing all those things? And you don't learn them all at once. You learn them from your first perfect start, which is your first 30 faces. Then your second 30 faces, which makes 60 faces, your power start. Again and again and again, listening to those skills. So you learn how to do it with excellence. Vision, I am part of what God is doing. So goals are me fueled. I can do it. Just muster up enough activity, I can do it. Vision, I am part of what God is doing. I will do my work, my part with excellence as I'm doing it unto the Lord. My work is my worship to him. He made me. He made this company. He's called me to do this. I came to know him through this. This is how I worship him and say thank you, is doing it with excellence, because then I get to model for other women how to do the same thing and point people to him. So I love in here how he's saying, don't confuse success with the rewards of success. If you measure your success by whether or not your vision has materialized, you are a candidate for discouragement. You guys, we live in a microwave society. This type of success, being part of what God's doing, being part of the success story of Mary Kay, is definitely been a crock pot for 62 years and will continue to be a crock pot of success stories. But it's women walking towards a vision of women's lives being empowered, women being given a different way to live and work, and encouraged that they have seeds of greatness, and it's our job to encourage it out. Enjoy chapter 3 and beyond.